Hi, I'm Sara Tilley from Curious Maths. I'm a primary maths consultant and I've been working with the primary schools across Chat for the last couple of years. The purpose of this video is to help you support your child at home with maths. And we're going to be looking at how we get to the formal methods of calculation. I'm going to show you how we build it, how we draw it, how we say it, and then how we write it. And we're going to move towards that formal calculation method. This video is going to focus on columnar subtraction. Here is an example of the first type of formal written method your child will encounter, and they're likely to do this in the summer term of Year 2 and certainly in Year 3. And this is an expanded version that we introduce before we get on to the compact method. And we do this, just like we did for addition, we do this so children get a real sense of the value of the numbers that we're using. So what I've done here is I've built the value of 56, and these are called base 10 or deans, and your child will be familiar with them because we use them a lot in school. Now with addition, when we did the build it, we built both of the numbers to find the total, but for subtraction we only represent the first number, and that's what I've done. I've represented 56. I've got 50 made up of tens and I've got 6 ones. And now we're going to subtract this value from it. So you might notice there are small little plus signs there, and that's just because this number is actually 56 and we have partitioned it into tens and ones, and that's just to remind children that it is still 56. So we start in our ones column. We've got 6 ones and we need to subtract 4 ones. How many ones do we have left? We have 2 ones remaining. I've got 50 and I need to subtract 30. 10, 20, 30. How much have I got left? I've got 20 remaining. And I can see from my calculation that my final answer is 22, and I can check it with my build to make sure it is 22. Next, still using the expanded partitioned method, we make it a little bit harder. And you'll notice that there's going to be some exchanging involved with this calculation. So just like before, we build our 83. And from that now, we're going to subtract 24. And we start in our ones column. We've got 3 ones and we need to subtract 4 ones. We don't say we can't do it because 3 subtract 4 is -1. But we say, to make the maths easier, we're going to regroup. So I'm going to exchange one of those tens for 10 ones. And we can exemplify that on the maths here. So my 80 has now become 70. And my ones, I've just added 10 to it, so now they have become 13 ones. And now I can subtract my 4 easily. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 13 ones and I've subtracted 4 ones. How many ones have I got left? I've got 9 ones remaining. I've got 70. I subtract 20. How much have I got left? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I have 50 remaining. And my answer is 59. So 83 subtract 24 equals 59. And we can check with our build to make sure we've got the answer correct. In Year 3, children have to be able to subtract up to 3 digits. So the numbers start to get a bit bigger. And when we go to the bigger numbers, we still want to do the build it and the draw it. But for this occasion, I've decided to show you what a draw it would look like in their maths book. So the idea of doing a draw is that we've let children have lots of hands-on experience when they've used the maths equipment, the deans, the base 10, and now we want to capture that learning in the maths book. So we get them to draw what they did, and this really helps them remember more. So what I've got here is a draw for this calculation, a very typical Year 3 calculation, and I've represented my 100 with the squares, my 10 with the lines, and my ones with a dot. So if you don't have this kind of equipment at home, this is how you can do it, and the children will be used to doing this in school. So this is quite a straightforward subtraction, but the numbers are bigger. So we still would go back to a subtraction where there was no exchanging required. So I go to my ones column. I've got 8 ones and I need to subtract 4 ones. And for the books, this is how we show it. And we might even circle the ones we have remaining. We have 4 ones remaining. Now you'll notice that this is a compact method. I haven't written out the 200 and the 30 and the 8 like I did before. So by the time they get to the end of year 3, we're hoping that they can use this method, and all the work they've done before on the expanded method will have helped them. So now I go to my tens column. I've got 3 tens and I need to subtract 2 tens. How many tens have I got left? I've got 1 10 remaining. I've got 200 and I need to subtract 100. How many hundreds have I got left? I've got 100 remaining. Once children have shown us they've got a good understanding of the compact method and they understand the value of the digits, then we'll go back to introducing, exchanging and regrouping. And this is more tricky to understand. So we definitely don't get rid of the build. Children will have had a couple of days building, but again, I'm going to show you what the draw would look like for this question. And for this question, I'm going to be exchanging from the hundreds column, because the example that I showed you for the 2-digit number was exchanging from the tens column. So I'm going to show you the other one. So I've drawn my 458 out and I'm going to subtract 266. So 8 ones subtract 6 ones. How many ones have we got left? We've got 2 ones remaining. I've got 5 tens and I need to subtract 6 tens. That's going to give us a negative number. So I'm going to exchange and regroup. And I'm going to exchange one of those hundreds, and I can do this at the same time. So now I've got 3 hundreds left. I can write it down for 10 tens, because that is equivalent. And that's exactly what my calculation is going to say, because I'm going to add my 10 tens there. So in total, I've got 15 tens, and here they are. I need to subtract 6 tens. How many tens have I got left? I've got 9 tens remaining. I've got 3, and I can draw a circle around that if I want to show that. I've got 300, and I need to subtract 200. How many hundreds are remaining? I've got 100 remaining. So that's a very typical question for year 3. We might also get them to exchange from more than one column in year 3, but we only need to subtract numbers up to 3 digits. So now we'll have a look at what it looks like in year 4. This is as hard as it's going to get in year 4, subtracting a 4-digit number from a 4-digit number with more than one example of exchange. So we still like to use the same approach, and we would still build the value of the first number. And what we've got here is something called place value counters. We tend to use these when the numbers get bigger, because we find children don't need the countable representation like they have with the base 10. As you can see, that could be countable, and the tens could also be countable. So we tend to use these when the numbers get bigger and children don't need to count, and they're quite easy to replicate in the maths book as a draw as well. So what I've got here is I've represented my first value, 3,533, and I need to subtract 2,854. So I start in my ones column. I've got 3 ones and I need to subtract 4 ones. That's going to give us a negative number, so I'm going to exchange. I'm going to take one of those tens, so I have 2 tens remaining, and regroup into the 10 ones. And that means I've now got 13 ones. From my 13 ones, I'm going to subtract 4, which means I have 9 remaining. You can see the ones there. Next to the tens column, I've got 2 tens and I need to subtract 5 tens. Well, again, that will give us a negative number, so I'm going to exchange. I'm going to exchange one of those hundreds, which gives me 4 hundreds remaining. I'm going to exchange it and regroup as 10 tens. So now I have 12 tens. I've got 12 tens and I need to subtract 5 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many have I got remaining? I've got 7 tens remaining. I've got 4 hundreds and I need to subtract 8 hundreds. It's going to give me a negative number. So I'm going to exchange one of those thousands for 10 hundreds, which gives me 14 hundreds. I need to take 8 away. How many have I got left? I have got 6 hundreds remaining. I've got 2 thousands and I need to subtract 2 thousands. How many thousands have I got? I have 0 thousands, and I can put my 0 in there if I wish. So that's how we would work with year 4 children on building up a really good understanding of columnar subtraction using a build it, draw it, write it approach. When we get to year 5 and 6, all they have to do is to be able to subtract numbers with more than 4 digits. So the children in years 5 and 6 will have experienced the concrete, the build it approach. They will have done lots of drawing of it in their maths book, and they should probably now be confident to simply work as a formal method. And that may well be the case of many children throughout the year group. As they go along, they'll start to understand it more. So by the end of year 3, it might be that year 3 children can use the formal method without any draw and build. And year 4 the same, etc., etc. So now I'm going to show you what finally it would look like in year 6. Here we've got a 6-digit number, subtract a 6-digit number with exchanging in multiple columns. And this is typical of a type of question children would need to do by the end of primary school, and they might even do it in year 5 too. So we're at the practice stage. There's no new objectives. Children are just simply practicing, just to make sure they are accurate. And to be honest, a lot of children will go straight to the written form at this age, especially if they've had lots of practice with the concrete beforehand. The teacher might show a model, a demonstration at the front of the class with a build and with a draw, but in most cases, we'd be expecting children to work in the compact form and with relatively good speed as well. And this is what it would look like. Starting my ones column. I've got 5 ones and I need to subtract 8 ones. That's going to give us a negative number. So I exchange one of those 10s for 10 ones. I've got 15 ones, subtract 8 ones. How many ones have I got remaining? I have 7 ones remaining. I have 1 10 and I need to take 6 tens. It's going to give me a negative number. I'm going to exchange one of those hundreds for 10 tens. I've got 11 tens, take away 6 tens. I have 5 tens remaining. I've got 300 and I need to subtract 900. So I need to exchange one of those thousands for 10 hundreds. I've got 13 hundreds and I need to subtract 9 hundreds. I've got 4 hundreds remaining. I've got 6,000, take away 4,000. I have 2,000 remaining. I have 6 tens of thousands, take away 8 tens of thousands. That's negative value, so I'm going to exchange. I've got 16 tens of thousands, subtract 8 tens of thousands. I've got 8 tens of thousands remaining. And finally, I've got 200 thousands, subtract 100,000. I have 100,000 remaining. So 367,425, subtract 184,968 equals 182,457. So that's how we teach the formal written method of column subtraction across our chat primary schools. We hope you found it useful.